Layla moved through the bustling cafe with practiced ease, a steady presence amid the clatter of dishes and the hum of conversations. The morning rush had just begun, and the air was thick with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, toasted bread, and sweet pastries. Despite the chaos around her, Layla remained calm, balancing plates with confident hands and offering warm smiles to customers, even when exhaustion tugged at the edges of her patience. She was more than just a waitress. Layla was a woman of intelligence and depth, though she rarely let that show. Fluent in several languages, English, Arabic, French, and Spanish, she had a mind honed by education and life experience, but she chose to keep her talents understated. To most patrons, she was simply the friendly face behind the counter, quick with a recommendation or a comforting word. Yet beneath that humble exterior lay a pride in her heritage and a fierce determination to build a better future. Layla's roots ran deep. Her family had immigrated to the city years ago, carrying with them stories, traditions, and a resilience that shaped her identity. They lived modestly but with dignity, emphasizing education, hard work, and respect. Layla's parents had sacrificed much so she could attend college, and though she worked long hours in the cafe, her dreams were grounded in practicality. She hoped to someday open a small bookstore cafe of her own, a place where culture and community could intersect. Her days began early, often before the city fully awakened. Layla would help her younger siblings prepare for school, share breakfast, and offer encouragement before slipping into her uniform and heading to work. The cafe was her second home, a place where she had formed friendships with regulars and co-workers alike. She was respected not only for her efficiency but for her kindness and sharp wit. Despite the demands of the job, Layla found moments of joy. The laughter of children in the corner, the familiar faces of customers who had become friends, and the simple satisfaction of a well-served meal reminded her why she endured the long hours. She was proud of the work she did, knowing it was a stepping stone towards something greater. Yet, the city had another side, one far removed from Layla's world of modest hopes and daily struggles. Towering glass skyscrapers gleamed in the distance, homes to the powerful and wealthy. Among them was Kareem, a billionaire whose name was synonymous with luxury and influence. His world was one of private jets, exclusive parties, and high-stakes business deals. Kareem moved through life with a confidence born of immense wealth and a belief that success justified his arrogance. Kareem's presence in the city was commanding. He rarely mingled with those outside his social circle, and when he did, his demeanor was cold, dismissive, and often cruel to those he considered beneath him. His reputation for ruthless business tactics was matched only by his reputation for being indifferent to the struggles of ordinary people. To him, the city's pulse was a backdrop to his own ambitions, a stage on which he played the lead role. On this particular day, Layla felt the usual rhythm of the cafe disrupted as a sleek black car pulled up in front. The chatter quieted slightly, and the staff exchanged knowing looks. Kareem had arrived. Dressed impeccably, Kareem entered the cafe with a purposeful stride, his sharp eyes scanning the room as if sizing up everything and everyone. His gaze settled briefly on Layla as she approached with a menu in hand. There was a flicker of recognition, though whether it was curiosity or disdain was unclear. Layla's heart quickened, but she maintained her composure. She had no illusions about the world Kareem inhabited, nor did she expect kindness from a man like him. Yet, there was something in the way he moved, the confidence he exuded, that set the stage for a collision of worlds, one rooted in humility and hard work, the other in privilege and power. As Kareem settled into his seat, the cafe's usual buzz returned, but beneath it was an undercurrent of tension. Layla knew that this encounter was more than a mere coincidence, it was the beginning of a story that would challenge everything she believed about herself, her dreams, and the city they both called home. The cafe buzzed with the usual midday rush, clinking cups, low conversations, the hiss of the espresso machine. Layla sat quietly at a corner table, her notebook open but her attention fragmented. She was used to the hum of background noise, the soft murmurs of strangers weaving around her thoughts. But today, something unsettled the familiar rhythm. Kareem, sitting nearby with a group of friends, caught sight of Layla's distracted expression. With a smirk playing at his lips, he leaned over and muttered something in Arabic, words sharp and cutting, spoken with the confidence of someone certain he was unheard. He sneered, meaning, "You don't understand anything, weakling." Kareem's voice was low, but not low enough. The words floated through the air, slipping past the filter of the crowded cafe and landing directly in Layla's ears. For a brief moment, she sat frozen, the shock tightening her chest. The assumption that she wouldn't understand, wouldn't react, stung deeper than the insult itself. Her initial surprise quickly settled into a quiet, simmering resolve. Layla's mind raced, the sting of Kareem's mockery igniting something fierce within her. She glanced around, noticing the subtle shifts in the cafe's atmosphere. A few heads turned, whispers beginning to ripple through the crowd like a gathering storm. The tension was tangible, electric. Layla closed her notebook calmly, a deliberate act to signal that she had heard every word. She stood, her movements measured and confident, drawing the eyes of those nearby. Kareem's smirk faltered slightly, surprised by the calmness that replaced her initial shock. "Did you just say that?" Layla asked in clear, flawless Arabic, her voice steady but sharp. The cafe fell quieter, the murmur of conversation pausing as the confrontation took shape. Kareem's friends exchanged glances, some stifling chuckles, others uncertain how this would unfold. Kareem himself leaned back, amusement flickering in his eyes. He hadn't expected a response, certainly not one that challenged him so directly. "Relax, I was just joking," Kareem said, his tone light, attempting to defuse the moment with casual bravado. But his eyes betrayed a flicker of doubt he had miscalculated. Layla's gaze didn't waver. "Joking," she repeated slowly, each syllable deliberate. "Mocking someone in a language they believe they don't understand is not a joke. It's disrespect." The words hung in the air, sharp and unyielding. The cafe patrons watched, caught between discomfort and curiosity. The power in Layla's quiet confrontation was palpable. She wasn't just defending herself, she was challenging the assumption that she could be dismissed or belittled unnoticed. Kareem chuckled, shaking his head. "You're taking this too seriously," he said, leaning forward. "It was nothing. People say things all the time." Layla's eyes narrowed. "Not everyone. And not to me." A ripple of murmurs passed through the cafe. Some sided silently with Layla, others with Kareem, but the dynamic had shifted. The easy camaraderie of Kareem's group felt suddenly fractured, exposed. "I'm tired of being invisible," Layla said, her voice steady but carrying an undercurrent of emotion. "Tired of being spoken about as if I'm not here. You don't get to decide that I don't understand or that my feelings don't matter." Kareem's amusement dimmed, replaced by a flicker of frustration. He leaned in, lowering his voice. "You think you're different? Special? Don't get carried away." But Layla stood firm. The tension between them was no longer just about words, it was about respect, recognition, and boundaries. She wasn't just fighting for herself, she was making a statement that would ripple beyond this moment, beyond this cafe. As she turned to leave, the cafe slowly returned to its usual rhythm, But something had changed. The murmurs grew louder, the incident becoming a topic of quiet discussion. People exchanged glances, some questioning Kareem's behavior, others admiring Layla's courage. Kareem watched her go, a mixture of surprise and grudging respect settling over him. He had underestimated her, not just her understanding, but her strength. The mocking words that were meant to belittle had sparked something far more powerful, a confrontation that neither of them would forget. Layla's resolve had ignited the beginning of a deeper challenge, one that would force Kareem to reconsider not only his words but his assumptions about those around him. The new reality was clear: she would no longer be silent, no longer invisible. The room was tense, charged with an energy that crackled beneath every exchanged glance and whispered conversation. What had started as a routine meeting among influential figures quickly transformed into a battlefield of words and wills. Layla stood at the center, poised and unyielding, as Kareem's sharp tone filled the room. His challenge, meant to intimidate, instead became the catalyst for a shift that none could have predicted. Kareem, a man accustomed to commanding respect with little effort, had spoken to Layla with condescension masked as authority. He presumed her discomfort, expecting silence, or at best, a timid response. But Layla, with a calm that belied the storm brewing within, met his gaze and responded not in the language most expected, but in flawless, fluid Arabic. Her words were precise and cutting, delivered with a confidence that shocked everyone present. The room fell into a stunned silence. The sheer unexpectedness of her reply unsettled Kareem more than he cared to admit. The power dynamics, once firmly in his favor, now shifted palpably. His carefully constructed facade of control cracked, replaced by a flush of humiliation. Yet beneath the anger simmered a grudging intrigue. Layla's fearless confidence was unlike anything he had encountered before. Conversations resumed, but the atmosphere had changed irrevocably. Colleagues who had once nodded in silent agreement with Kareem now exchanged glances laced with uncertainty. Layla's words had pierced the veneer of deference, revealing a fissure in the established order. Outside the confines of the meeting room, the incident did not remain private. Within hours, social media platforms buzzed with clips and commentary. Layla's fearless retort became a symbol of courage, sparking widespread admiration. Many praised her for standing her ground against a figure of authority, celebrating her as a beacon of empowerment. However, not all reactions were positive. Kareem's powerful allies rallied to defend their own, casting Layla's actions as disrespectful and disruptive. They launched subtle campaigns aimed at undermining her credibility, using their influence to shift public opinion. The battle had moved beyond the room's walls and onto a much larger stage. For both Layla and Kareem, the stakes had risen dramatically. Layla found herself both empowered and vulnerable, aware that her courage had drawn not only support but also intensified scrutiny. Kareem, grappling with the sting of public embarrassment and the threat to his dominance, prepared to retaliate in ways that could alter both their futures. As tensions escalated, both understood that this confrontation was far from over. What had begun as a clash of words now represented a deeper struggle for respect, influence, and control. The coming days would test their resilience and resolve, pushing them into uncharted territory where the outcome was anything but certain. The revelation of Kareem's insecurities and Layla's hidden past marked a pivotal moment in their evolving relationship. Kareem, often perceived as arrogant and self-assured, began to reveal the layers beneath his exterior. His bravado, previously interpreted as confidence, was, in fact, a defense mechanism against deep-seated insecurities. This newfound understanding shifted Layla's perception of him, recognizing that his arrogance was a shield, not a true reflection of his character. Conversely, Layla's past, once shrouded in secrecy, came to light. She had faced significant adversity, overcoming challenges that had shaped her resilience and strength. Her journey through hardship had imbued her with a profound sense of dignity and self-worth, values she held dear. This revelation not only deepened Kareem's respect for her but also highlighted the strength that lay beneath her composed exterior. As these truths emerged, the dynamics between Kareem and Layla transformed. The conflict that had initially seemed insurmountable now appeared more nuanced, rooted in misunderstandings rather than inherent differences. Kareem, confronted with the complexities of Layla's experiences, began to reassess his previous judgments and approach. He recognized that his initial perceptions were limited and that true understanding required empathy and openness. For Layla, this revelation was equally transformative. She realized that the confrontation was not merely about a single insult or offense but about a deeper need for respect and recognition of her dignity. The conflict symbolized broader issues of acknowledgement and equality, themes that resonated with her personal experiences. This epiphany empowered her to address the situation not out of anger but from a place of self-respect and clarity. Together, Kareem and Layla embarked on a journey of mutual understanding. Their shared vulnerabilities became the foundation for a more profound connection, built on empathy, respect, and a commitment to personal growth. This turning point not only altered their relationship but also underscored the importance of embracing one's true self and the power of understanding in overcoming conflicts. Kareem's world shifted in ways he hadn't anticipated. The incident that had sent ripples through his life now exploded into full-blown fallout, fracturing the carefully constructed facades he had built around himself. His social circles, once filled with admiration and influence, grew cold and distant. Invitations that used to flow freely stopped arriving, replaced by hushed conversations and sideways glances. In the business world, where reputation was currency, his standing took a hard hit. Partners hesitated, clients reconsidered, and opportunities that seemed assured slipped away. The incident had bruised more than just his ego, it had chipped away at the very foundation of his identity. Kareem's pride, long a source of strength, now felt like a vulnerable weakness. He wrestled with the dissonance between the image he projected and the reality unraveling around him. To the outside world, he had appeared invincible, a man who controlled every situation and commanded respect. But behind closed doors, he grappled with shame, frustration, and an unsettling sense of isolation. The loss of status and the erosion of trust stung deeply, shaking his confidence and forcing him to question who he was beyond the surface. Meanwhile, Layla was navigating her own storm. Unlike Kareem, whose troubles centered on fallout from his peers, Layla found herself thrust into an unexpected spotlight. The incident brought her a wave of attention that was as overwhelming as it was contradictory. On one hand, she received support from strangers who admired her courage and resilience. Messages of encouragement poured in, along with offers of help and solidarity. This newfound recognition was empowering but also intimidating. On the other hand, Layla faced skepticism and criticism from corners she hadn't expected. Some questioned her motives, her integrity, even her character. The pressure to uphold an image of strength weighed heavily on her, magnified by the public's expectations. Every action, every word was scrutinized, leaving her little room for error or vulnerability. She felt exposed, caught between the desire to be authentic and the demand to be perfect. As both Kareem and Layla dealt with the reverberations of the incident, they confronted the profound ways it had upended their lives. Their previously aligned paths now seemed to diverge sharply, highlighting the growing gulf between their worlds. Where Kareem's challenges centered on loss of status and control, Layla's revolved around newfound visibility and pressure. Each experience was valid but distinct, underscoring the complexity of their individual struggles. The tension between them grew palpable. Conversations that once flowed with ease now stumbled over misunderstandings and unspoken grievances. Kareem's bruised ego made him defensive, often retreating behind sarcasm or silence. Layla, burdened by her own anxieties, struggled to bridge the widening gap. Their attempts at connection were fraught, revealing how deeply fractured their relationship had become. The disparity in their experiences exposed differences not only in circumstance but in perspective. Kareem's world had always been shaped by control and image, while Layla's centered on resilience and authenticity. This clash made reconciliation seem distant, as if they were speaking different languages, both yearning for understanding but unable to find common ground. Despite the strain, both Kareem and Layla wrestled with the desire to rebuild what had been broken. Beneath the layers of hurt and pride, they recognized a shared history and a connection that transcended their current struggles. Yet, the path to healing was clouded by uncertainty and fear. Each feared vulnerability, yet understood that without it, the fractures would only deepen. Kareem, in moments of solitude, reflected on how the incident had exposed the fragility of his carefully maintained identity. He realized that clinging to ego and status had left him isolated, disconnected from those who truly cared. The fallout forced him to confront uncomfortable truths about himself, his need for control, his fear of weakness, and the walls he had built around his heart. Layla, too, faced her own reckoning. The spotlight, while daunting, also illuminated her strength and capacity for growth. She began to see that pressure, though heavy, could be a catalyst for change rather than a cage. The experience taught her the importance of setting boundaries and embracing imperfection. It was a painful lesson, but one that promised deeper self-awareness. As the days passed, Kareem and Layla found themselves at a crossroads. The fractures in their facades no longer served as barriers but as openings, opportunities to rebuild with greater honesty and vulnerability. Whether they could bridge the gap between their worlds remained uncertain, but the possibility of reconciliation emerged from the cracks. Their journeys were reminders that beneath the polished surfaces people present to the world lie complexities and struggles often unseen. The incident had shattered illusions, forcing both Kareem and Layla to confront the messy realities of identity, reputation, and connection. In the aftermath, they were no longer defined solely by the incident or its fallout but by how they chose to move forward. The fractured facades might never fully mend, but through confrontation and reflection, there was hope for growth, understanding, and perhaps, healing. Kareem stood alone in his office late into the night, the city lights outside casting long shadows across the room. The silence was thick, almost suffocating, as he grappled with the turbulence inside him. For years, his confidence had been his armor, his sharp instincts and bold decisions had propelled his business to success. Yet beneath that veneer, a restless fear simmered, the fear of showing weakness, of letting anyone see the cracks in his carefully constructed facade. His arrogance had often served as both shield and sword, pushing others away even as it fueled his ambition. Now, with his company facing unprecedented challenges, Kareem felt that armor beginning to crumble. The threats to his business were no longer just financial, they cut deeper, shaking the foundation of his identity. In search of clarity, Kareem reached out to an old mentor, someone who had seen him at his best and worst. Their conversations became a mirror, reflecting not just his strengths but the vulnerabilities he had long denied. Through these exchanges, Kareem began to confront the walls he had built around himself, the fear that vulnerability equaled failure, that admitting doubt would undermine his authority. Simultaneously, Layla faced her own internal battle. Recently thrust into the spotlight, she grappled with waves of self-doubt that threatened to overwhelm her. Every decision, every public appearance, was scrutinized not just by others, but by the harshest critic of all, herself. The visibility she had once sought now felt like a double-edged sword, exposing her insecurities as much as her achievements. Layla sought counsel from a trusted confidant, someone who encouraged her to embrace imperfection and recognize her intrinsic worth beyond external validation. Their dialogues sparked moments of deep reflection, helping Layla see that her struggles were not unique but part of a shared human experience. This recognition softened the grip of her self-doubt, allowing her to reclaim a sense of agency. As both Kareem and Layla delved into their personal journeys, the external pressures they faced intensified. Kareem's business was threatened by a combination of market forces and internal dissent, testing not only his strategic acumen but also his capacity to lead with empathy and openness. Layla's reputation came under relentless scrutiny, with every action dissected in the court of public opinion, magnifying her vulnerabilities. These challenges were no longer abstract obstacles, they had become deeply personal trials that demanded resilience and growth. Kareem and Layla, despite their different paths, found themselves united by a shared imperative, to break through the walls of fear, doubt, and isolation that constrained them. Their journeys illuminated the power of recognizing common humanity, understanding that strength often arises from embracing vulnerability, and that growth requires confronting rather than avoiding inner struggles. This chapter of their lives marked a turning point, where personal introspection and external adversity converged to forge a deeper, more authentic sense of self. In navigating these intertwined battles, Kareem and Layla set the stage for transformation not just in their individual lives, but in the ways they would engage with the world and each other moving forward. Kareem's transformation was subtle but undeniable. Gone was the prideful, impulsive man who had once clashed sharply with Layla. Instead, a more reflective and humbled individual emerged, shaped by his experiences and a growing awareness of his own shortcomings. He understood that true change required more than words, it demanded action grounded in respect and sincerity. With this mindset, Kareem decided to bridge the gap between himself and Layla, a woman whose strength and convictions he had long admired but also challenged. The decision to reach out was not easy. Kareem wrestled with doubts and fears of rejection. He knew that past conflicts had left deep wounds, and that trust was fragile, if not broken entirely. Yet the desire to make amends and support Layla's ambitions outweighed his apprehensions. He realized that genuine respect meant acknowledging mistakes openly and offering support without expecting anything in return. Kareem crafted a message to Layla that was both humble and clear. He apologized sincerely for his earlier behavior, taking full responsibility without excuses or justifications. His words conveyed a newfound respect for her vision and determination. More importantly, he proposed a partnership, an opportunity to collaborate on a project that would celebrate cultural respect and empowerment, values they both held dear but had previously approached from different perspectives. Layla received the message with cautious optimism. Her initial instinct was to guard herself, mindful of past disappointments and betrayals. Yet Kareem's tone was disarming, and his proposal aligned closely with her own goals. She recognized that this could be a chance to transform conflict into cooperation, to create something meaningful that went beyond personal grievances. The two agreed to meet and discuss the possibility further. Their first encounter was tentative, marked by careful listening and an openness that neither had fully allowed before. They spoke honestly about their past misunderstandings, acknowledging the pain and frustration that had fueled their rivalry. But they also explored shared values, the importance of cultural heritage, the power of community, and the potential for empowerment through unity. Together, they began to envision a project that would serve as both a public statement and a catalyst for change. They imagined an event that highlighted diverse cultural narratives, honoring traditions while promoting dialogue and understanding. This event would feature art, music, workshops, and speeches, an immersive experience designed to educate and inspire. Kareem brought organizational skills and community connections to the table, while Layla contributed her creative vision and passion for empowerment. Their collaboration was a delicate balance of give and take, learning to trust each other's perspectives and expertise. Through this process, old resentments slowly gave way to mutual respect and shared purpose. The planning phase was filled with challenges. Differences in opinion surfaced, requiring patience and compromise. Logistics needed careful coordination, from securing venues to managing outreach efforts. Yet, every obstacle overcome strengthened their partnership and deepened their commitment to the cause. As the event took shape, word began to spread throughout their community. Many were surprised by the unexpected alliance, curious to see what would emerge from two individuals once at odds. The project symbolized more than a cultural celebration, it represented a tangible shift toward collaboration and healing. On the day of the event, the atmosphere was electric. Community members gathered, drawn by the promise of connection and shared experience. The venue buzzed with vibrant colors, the sounds of traditional music mingling with contemporary rhythms. Exhibits showcased artwork and stories that reflected the rich tapestry of cultural identities within the community. Speakers took the stage to discuss themes of respect, empowerment, and unity. Kareem and Layla stood side by side, presenting their joint message with authenticity and conviction. Their presence together was a powerful testament to the journey they had undertaken from conflict and mistrust to partnership and hope. The event's impact extended beyond its immediate success. It sparked conversations that continued long after the last speaker had finished and the music faded. Attendees left inspired to engage more deeply with their cultural roots and to foster understanding across differences. The project became a model for future collaborations, demonstrating the potential for respect and cooperation to transform communities. For Kareem and Layla, the experience was profoundly personal. It marked a turning point in their relationship, one built on honesty, humility, and a shared vision. Kareem's apology had opened the door, but it was their combined efforts and commitment that solidified the new path forward. Through this process, Kareem learned the true meaning of respect not as a superficial gesture, but as a foundation for meaningful action and genuine partnership. Layla, in turn, found renewed strength in embracing collaboration without compromising her values. The gesture of reaching out and the subsequent project symbolized a broader theme of transformation. It showed how individuals, when willing to confront their faults and embrace empathy, can overcome divisions and create something greater than themselves. This chapter in their story was a celebration of growth and possibility. It highlighted the power of humility, the importance of listening, and the courage required to extend and accept trust. Ultimately, it was a reminder that respect, when paired with intention and effort, has the ability to heal wounds and build bridges that endure. In a bustling public square filled with a diverse crowd, Kareem and Layla stood side by side, their presence commanding attention in a way neither had anticipated. The event was more than a simple gathering, it was a deliberate stage set to confront deep-rooted animosities and to showcase a path toward reconciliation. Both Kareem and Layla, once emblematic of division and discord, had reached a pivotal moment where their personal growth intersected with a larger communal need for healing and understanding. The tension was palpable as they stepped forward together, a symbol of fragile unity amid an atmosphere charged with skepticism and hope. The memories of their past conflicts hovered like ghosts, Yet what now defined their relationship was something fundamentally different: genuine respect, humility, and a willingness to listen. Their earlier antagonism had given way to a mature partnership, one forged through candid conversations, mutual vulnerability, and the shared desire to build bridges rather than walls. As they addressed the audience, Kareem and Layla shared the story of their journey, how misunderstandings, pride, and fear had once driven them apart, but how courage and openness had brought them back together. Their words were marked by honesty. They did not shy away from admitting their mistakes or the pain they had caused one another. This admission was crucial, as it invited others to see the humanity behind their conflict and to recognize that growth often requires acknowledging one's own faults. The event itself was designed to challenge societal prejudices that had long kept communities fragmented. In many ways, Kareem and Layla embodied the divisions that the crowd had experienced: differences in background, beliefs, and experiences. Their decision to stand united became a powerful counter-narrative, offering a hopeful alternative to the polarization and mistrust that too often defined public discourse. As they spoke, the audience responded with a mixture of surprise and admiration. The rawness of their confession, combined with their evident transformation, stirred something deeply resonant. It became clear that their partnership was not a superficial truce but a meaningful collaboration grounded in empathy and respect. Their example encouraged others to reconsider long-held biases and to explore possibilities for their own reconciliation. The emotional intensity of the moment was undeniable. Both Kareem and Layla displayed vulnerability in a public arena, a bold act that required shedding layers of defensiveness and pride. Their openness demonstrated that humility is not a sign of weakness but rather a profound strength that enables authentic connection. The vulnerability they showed created a space where others felt safe to confront their own prejudices and fears. Throughout the event, their dynamic illustrated significant personal growth. Kareem, once quick to judge and defensive, now listened attentively and acknowledged perspectives different from his own. Layla, who had carried deep hurt and skepticism, exhibited forgiveness and a readiness to move forward collaboratively. Together, they embodied the possibility that even the most entrenched divides could be bridged through patient dialogue and shared commitment. Beyond their personal story, the event underscored the transformative power of community engagement in healing social rifts. It was a reminder that while individual change is essential, collective progress depends on creating opportunities for people to come together, share their truths, and work toward common goals. Kareem and Layla's partnership served as a catalyst, inspiring broader conversations and encouraging active participation from others who wished to contribute to reconciliation. The symbolic nature of their alliance was further highlighted by the diverse representation in the crowd: people from various backgrounds, ages, and walks of life, all witnessing this moment of unity. This inclusivity emphasized that bridging divides requires embracing difference rather than erasing it. Kareem and Layla's collaboration was not about uniformity but about honoring diversity while seeking common ground. As the event drew to a close, the atmosphere shifted from cautious optimism to genuine hope. The applause was heartfelt, reflecting the collective desire for healing and a shared future marked by understanding rather than division. The impact of Kareem and Layla's journey extended beyond the immediate moment, planting seeds for ongoing dialogue and cooperation within the community. Their story became a testament to the power of humility and understanding in transforming relationships and societies. It illustrated that progress is not linear and that reconciliation demands ongoing effort, patience, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. The courage both showed in facing their past animosities publicly was a crucial step in modeling how others might navigate their own conflicts. In the aftermath of the event, conversations sparked across the community, fueled by the example set by Kareem and Layla. People began to question their own assumptions, reach out across divides, and engage in more meaningful interactions. The ripple effect of their reconciliation highlighted how individual acts of courage can influence broader cultural shifts, promoting healing on a larger scale. The climax also revealed the deeply emotional dimensions of reconciliation. It was not merely an intellectual exercise but a heartfelt process involving vulnerability, forgiveness, and hope. Kareem and Layla's willingness to be seen in their imperfect, evolving selves invited others to embrace their own humanity, flaws and all. Ultimately, this public confrontation and demonstration of partnership stood as a powerful narrative about the potential for transformation when individuals choose empathy over enmity. Kareem and Layla's journey underscored that true understanding arises not from winning arguments but from listening, admitting fault, and building trust through consistent, respectful action. Their example challenged societal norms that often encourage division and suspicion, suggesting instead that healing is possible through intentional efforts to bridge gaps and nurture relationships. The event became a beacon of possibility, a reminder that even the deepest divides can be overcome when people commit to approaching each other with openness and respect. As the crowd dispersed, many carried with them a renewed sense of possibility, inspired by the courage and growth exhibited by Kareem and Layla. Their story lingered in conversations and reflections, a catalyst for change that extended well beyond the boundaries of the event itself. In essence, the climax demonstrated that while the path to reconciliation is fraught with difficulty, it is also rich with opportunities for profound growth and connection. Kareem and Layla's transformation from adversaries to partners highlighted the indispensable roles that humility, respect, and empathy play in healing fractured relationships. The chapter closed on a note of cautious optimism, acknowledging that the work of bridging divides is ongoing but affirming that the first step, one grounded in courage and understanding, can create lasting change. Their story became a testament to the enduring power of human connection and the possibility that, through sincere effort, even the most entrenched barriers can be dismantled. Layla's journey reaches a turning point as the barriers that once confined her begin to crumble, revealing a woman transformed by experience and determination. No longer defined solely by her role as a waitress, she steps into a new chapter of life where her ambitions and talents command recognition. This evolution is not sudden but the result of persistent effort, courage, and the quiet strength cultivated through hardship and growth. Layla's confidence blossoms as she embraces the possibility of a future shaped by her own choices, rather than limited by circumstance. Her relationship with Kareem, initially marked by misunderstanding and distance, evolves into an unexpected alliance grounded in mutual respect and shared vision. Kareem's transformation is equally profound. Once self-assured in his own narrow worldview, he is humbled by the journey alongside Layla. The experience challenges his preconceived notions, forcing him to confront his own biases and limitations. This awakening motivates Kareem to embark on a path of personal growth, seeking to broaden his perspective and deepen his empathy. Together, Layla and Kareem symbolize the power of connection to transcend societal divisions and stereotypes. Their bond defies expectations, illustrating how openness and willingness to change can foster meaningful relationships even in unlikely circumstances. Through their interaction, the narrative underscores the importance of seeing beyond surface roles and embracing the full humanity of others. Layla's empowerment is evident not only in her professional aspirations but also in the way she carries herself. The confidence she now radiates is born of hard-won self-respect and the knowledge that her worth extends far beyond any job title. This newfound sense of identity enables her to pursue dreams that once seemed distant or unattainable. The story highlights her determination to seek opportunities that align with her passions and talents, illustrating a journey toward fulfillment and self-actualization. Kareem's humility and commitment to growth mark a significant shift from his earlier persona. He approaches life with renewed openness, recognizing the value of listening and learning from others. His transformation serves as a reminder that change is possible at any stage of life when one is willing to embrace vulnerability and challenge ingrained beliefs. Kareem's evolving character embodies the theme of redemption and the ongoing process of self-improvement. The resolution of the narrative places emphasis on respect both earned and given as a foundation for breaking down stereotypes. Layla and Kareem's story becomes a microcosm of broader societal dynamics, reflecting the potential for individuals to transcend prejudices and build understanding through authentic engagement. Their experience encourages readers to reconsider assumptions and to appreciate the complexity and dignity inherent in every person. New horizons open not only for Layla and Kareem individually but also for their relationship. Their alliance is not without challenges, but it is fortified by genuine care and a commitment to supporting one another's growth. This partnership symbolizes the unexpected ways in which human connections can reshape lives and broaden perspectives. The narrative closes with an optimistic outlook, celebrating the possibilities that arise when barriers fall and hearts open. The story's conclusion invites reflection on the importance of perseverance and the courage to pursue change despite obstacles. Layla's journey from waitress to empowered individual embodies this message, demonstrating how determination and self-belief can overcome external limitations. Kareem's transformation reinforces the idea that personal growth is a continuous journey, enriched by openness to new experiences and perspectives. Together, their stories inspire hope that societal divisions can be bridged through empathy, respect, and authentic connection. The narrative's final moments emphasize that breaking stereotypes is not merely an individual achievement but a collective possibility when people choose to engage with one another beyond preconceived notions. This hopeful vision resonates as a call to action for embracing diversity and fostering inclusive communities. Layla's story also underscores the significance of allyship, how support from unexpected quarters can catalyze change and empower individuals. Kareem's role as an ally is marked by humility and willingness to stand alongside Layla without overshadowing her voice. Their dynamic illustrates how partnerships based on equality and respect can uplift marginalized voices and open pathways to opportunity. The evolving relationship between Layla and Kareem further reveals the complexities of human connection. It acknowledges that growth often involves discomfort and challenge but also highlights the rewards of perseverance and empathy. Their bond becomes a testament to the transformative power of shared experiences and the potential for new understandings to emerge even in the most unlikely settings. Throughout this resolution, the narrative maintains a tone of optimism tempered by realism. It acknowledges the difficulties inherent in breaking free from societal expectations and personal limitations but emphasizes that change is attainable. The story closes not with neat conclusions but with a sense of ongoing possibility, inviting readers to imagine what lies ahead for both Layla and Kareem as they step into their new horizons. In embracing her true self, Layla not only redefines her own future but also challenges the world around her to reconsider its judgments and assumptions. Her journey is a beacon of empowerment, demonstrating that identity is fluid and that courage can lead to profound transformation. This message resonates broadly, encouraging readers to pursue their own paths with confidence and integrity. Kareem's commitment to personal growth highlights the value of humility and the importance of confronting one's biases. His evolution suggests that true strength lies in the willingness to change and in the recognition that understanding others enriches one's own life. Together, Layla and Kareem model a partnership that is rooted in respect, learning, and mutual support. The final scenes of the narrative capture a sense of renewal and forward momentum. The storm of past struggles has passed, leaving in its wake a clearer vision and an open road ahead. Both characters stand poised to embrace the future, equipped with the insights and resilience gained through their shared journey. The story's closing moments emphasize the power of human connection to heal, inspire, and propel individuals toward new possibilities. Ultimately, the resolution celebrates the breaking of boundaries, whether societal, personal, or relational, and the emergence of new perspectives that enrich lives. Layla and Kareem's story affirms that transformation is possible when individuals choose to see and honor each other fully. This hopeful ending offers a compelling vision of respect, empowerment, and the unexpected bonds that can change lives in profound and lasting ways.